I have lots of raw spots. I've already identified that. But if I may, because it's helpful for me, both of us got off the dance floor last night. I think that's fairly safe to say.
Yeah.
And if I can sort of contextualize that into last night, because we've processed it this morning, but we didn't catch it last night. Neither one of us had the courage to come through it last night. I'm having a very difficult time with Christmas right now because of Mum's death last year and all that important emotional stuff for me. Mm-hmm. And my goal yesterday was to get the lights on that little Christmas tree changed and going. And I needed you emotionally to just to be there for me. But you left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And that was one of those key moments when that raw spot comes up for you?
Oh, yes. Because I am hoping, Timmy, that you will be there just to support me, just to acknowledge that that's where I am and say, Kimmy, is there anything I can do for you? Or, you know, are you okay? Just checking in. Mm-hmm. But something happened for you.
Yeah.
I sensed you just left. You got into the flyers and all the images of everything you want for Christmas. This was my perception. Mm-hmm. And then you disappeared from the living room where I was trying to work on this tree. And you went upstairs. I didn't know where you were. I just knew that emotionally you were getting away from me. Yeah. Like you were gone. Mm-hmm. And I tried to pull you in a couple of times with my snarky remarks, like, you know, are you going to do the kitty litter? Or mm-hmm. And you just continued to disappear further. So I was sitting there last night alone in the living room, feeling such an enormous amount of sadness and hurt and alone. I was alone and you were gone. And even though I knew you were upstairs physically, I knew you weren't there for me. Mm-hmm. And that left me feeling really unsafe and invisible. Like I don't matter, you know. Mm-hmm. I also found last night, though, Timmy, I did my best to try and understand where you were coming from. Mm-hmm. I knew that we were in the tornado, but I didn't have an ounce of energy to invite you to meet me because I was just too raw. I was just too raw. Mm-hmm.
Right. And that place is familiar for you, yes? Kim, that's the place you go in when this tornado gets going. That's the moment you go to, right?
Oh, I go there. I feel invisible. I feel like, you know, I have a hard time breathing. Like, I feel like my heart has been stabbed, you know. And how can I be? Why am I still so needy? You know, like, get over it, Kim. Like, I'm supposed to be a big, independent person, right?
Right.
And I didn't need him to fix anything for me.
You just wanted that comfort. You wanted to know that you could reach out and have him come close.
Yeah.
Right. What's it like to, Tim, I know that you've already shared with me that in your family this kind of conversation just would not have ever gone down. It would just have... So for you to be even in this conversation, listening to this, is kind of pretty strange territory for you, right? So what's it like for you to hear Kim sharing this right now and talking about last night? Can you tell her what it's like?
As it was happening and as we were going through it, I wasn't able to pinpoint what was happening. I just finished an 11-hour day.
Oh, yeah.
And in my mind, I'm tired. I just want to sleep.
Right.
So as it all played out, and as Kimmy asked me to do the litter, and as she was fixing the Christmas tree, I went right away to a place of negative thinking, and that was that I'm lazy.
And that somehow you heard her being critical and
Yeah, for sure. I heard her saying that I'm lazy, and just not living up to her standards.
Right. And that's the tricky thing here, isn't it? Because these softer feelings, they're kind of on a different level. There's kind of another code going on, right? But you're plugged in up here, So you just heard that, and that you left, and that was part of the usual tornado you get into, right?
The messages are automatic, that I'm inadequate, that I'm lazy, and I guess
And that's unbearable, huh?
Yeah, and actually last night I wasn't aware of what was happening, but talking with Kim this morning, I was able to understand my process last night.
What was it like for you to tell him your feelings, Kim? So these, it's
This morning.
Well, and even right now, or this morning, what was it like for you to go down to that softer level and tell him, right?
It's hard for me to do that at times, especially when I'm feeling already very vulnerable.
Right.
I want to, my instinct is to protect myself and just say, yeah, well, whatever, bud,
Right.
Like he's telling me this morning that he left the living room because he was used to his mom saying, well, come on, we're going to get the Christmas tree going and time to decorate and get off your lazy bleep bleep and, right? And that hurts me because Timmy knows where I'm at this Christmas, and there's nothing normal about it for me.
Right.
And I didn't need him to get into the Christmas tree or get decorations. I didn't need him to fix anything.
Yeah, that wasn't, but he heard it on a different level, right? And that's
completely.
And that was a trigger for him, right?
Yeah,
right.
Completely.
But you're saying it's actually hard to turn and sort of take the leap of faith and go to this level and share with Tim. That's hard, right? Because there is a natural thing of, no, I'm already vulnerable and I don't want to be hurt more. And that's really natural to have that feeling. And it's hard. It's a real, it's an act of courage, and to turn and do what you just did, which is to say, hey, you know what, in that moment, I was feeling really alone.
Yeah.
And maybe on one level we were talking about the kitty litter, but it was like, and the Christmas tree, and but on another level there was a whole other drama happening, and it was hard to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I knew I couldn't.
But you did this morning.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's pretty good. That's not even 24 hours. Huh? That's pretty good. So, Tim, what about you? Now, you were in that situation, and your way of dealing with these softer feelings is to totally, you do this with your hand out, right?
Yeah.
Exit, right? So, what about you? Can you help Kim understand? I know that you've tried the conversation too before. Can you help Kim understand what's happening for you on a softer level with some of these more difficult feelings? Can you help her understand them?
As it was happening last night, and as you asked me about changing the litter, what came up for me was that you're lazy. You're not capable of helping me with anything. And as I shared with you this morning in the car, was around my mother and her putting me down. As I'm going through situations, there's times where I have a hard time breathing, and anxiety sets in, you know, and I start choking, and it's hard to breathe.
Because you're hearing something very dangerous, right? It's just a little interaction, but you suddenly feel that Kim's displeased with you, right? And it feels like it used to feel when you were growing up with your mum, right? And she's displeased, she's angry with you, she's upset, and suddenly you can't breathe. That's almost, could you help me? What word would you put to that? Not being able to breathe is like...
choking, suffocating.
Suffocating, that's like a life and death thing. That's scary.
Yeah, very much so. And as I go through those situations, it's very fearful. You know, very scary.
So you leave.
Yeah.
You leave me behind, though.
But what you're... Yes, he does leave you behind, but what you're telling Kim is something incredibly important, which is you're saying, I'm not just leaving you I'm not leaving you behind because I don't care or because I just want to leave, right? In fact, I want to care for you. I'm moving away because suddenly I have all this fear, yeah? Can you tell her that directly?
The reason why I leave is because I'm not able to handle the situation that it is that I'm going through. It's too overwhelming for me, and
Does that mean I'm too overwhelming for you?
no, it's because I pick up a different message. You know, I don't pick up the message that you're sending me. I'm picking up old messages.
And that's what a sensitivity is, right? It's like a slight shift when, you know, we add a piece, right? There's an extra feeling that comes in, which is, oh my goodness, this person's really telling me. And what you're saying is you get really afraid.
Yep, totally.
Right.
And I run.
So turn off your ham radio and get with the new technology.
Yep. I'm slowly getting the shortwave.
What's it like to tell her this right now? Can you tell her what it's like to tell her this right now?
It's a little awkward, you know, sharing my feelings as raw as they are. But it's okay. It's funny, I'm awkward, but I'm comfortable. If that makes sense, you know.
As soon as we shared with each other this morning, it's like the connection occurs again.
Yeah.
You know, we reconnect. I think. I mean, we reconnected, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so what's it like for you to hear him? I mean, one part of you says, okay, you know, change the channel, buddy, right? But what's it like for you? What was it like for you this morning, and is it like for you now to hear Tim, you know, he's willing to go into this strange territory called emotion and connection and struggle with his fear to be with you, right? Because you're so important to him. What's it like for you to hear him right now telling you this? Can you tell him what it's like to hear him?
I just love you so much, Timmy, and when I hear you talk this way and you expose yourself and let all that bloody war armor down, I just feel totally warm inside, and I know, like, we're gonna get through this tornado just like all the other little ones together, right?
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you because I didn't know that this is what we were supposed to be doing with each other, Timmy. I just thought
And you didn't know about his
I'd never
fear.
find you.
Right. You thought you'd never find him, and you didn't know about his fear, right? And he couldn't tell you. Yeah.
No, I wasn't
now you
capable.
can, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. Little steps at a time.
Right. Good steps, though.
Yeah.
They're not really
Yeah.
little, actually.
No, they're actually huge.
Yeah, they're
Reality,
huge. Yeah.
huge. Yeah.